So with those different personas in mind, we're going to be talking about Liferay users. So users within Liferay, what do we mean by that? So a Liferay user is somebody who logs into Liferay and has a Liferay account. That's pretty much it. So if you can log into Liferay, you are essentially a Liferay user. By being a user in Liferay, this allows us to do many different things to that Liferay user. We can ensure that the user is able to do the common tasks or their job functionality by defining the permissions that they need. Right? We define those permissions, or we give those permissions to our Liferay users through these things called roles. So roles have permissions within them. We assign the role to the user so they gain that specific permission set. So all of the users in Liferay will be assigned a specific role. So you sign into liferay.com, you are automatically going to be given the user and the power user role by default. So when we want to manage these users within Liferay, right, we have different ways of organizing them. The two big tools that we have to help us are organizations and user groups. So organizations is our primary tool, right? This is how we can group our users in a hierarchy by mimicking or replicating our real life business structure or org chart. The second way we have is through these things called user groups. User groups transcend the organization structure. What that basically means is we can take different users from different organizations and place them inside of a user group, all the while maintaining where those users already exist in the organizations. So user groups exist outside of the realm of organizations, and we can take different users and place them within a user group. So in this image over here, we have these square blocks representing different organizations. We can see different users within each one of these different organizations. Now let's say Martine, Josiah, and Natalia, each one of them are leads or project leads within their respective organizations. So maybe we want to group each one of these leads. What we can do is create a user group for the department leads, and then take each one of the users from the respective departments and have them as a member of the user group. So a user can be a member of an organization and a user group at the same time. And the user group will exist outside of the realm or outside of the structure of the organizations. So let's go ahead and we're going to be taking a look at how to create a user. We'll first talk about how it's done, and then we'll go ahead and implement it. So creating a user is pretty easy. We're going to be inside of the product menu, under the control panel section, and there's going to be a section called users. When we expand out the user section, we'll have another section called users and organizations. It's over at users and organizations that we're going to be creating our user. From there, we'll then create our user, filling out the necessary fields that are needed. So the fields with the asterisks are the only required fields we need. So screen name, email address, first name are going to be the big ones. So we can also provide some additional information as well. Things like your birthday or things like your job title. We can also add a little image there as well if we like. So a lot of info we can add additionally to the required. So in our next exercise, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add Josiah as a user to Liferay. So let's highlight the steps here. We're just going to create the user Josiah, and then from there, we're going to make Josiah an admin of the platform. So let's go ahead and head over to our Liferay instance and take a look at how this is done. So back over here in my Liferay instance, we saw where we needed to go. So let's go ahead and click on the menu or the product menu icon up here at the top left. Once we expand out the product menu, let's head over to the control panel. And then from the control panel, we're going to head down here to users. Once we expand out the users section, we'll see users and organizations. So control panel, users, and then users and organizations. So again, it might take a little bit of time to load. If it does, no worries. Okay, so from here, moving my mouse cursor, we're going to click on that blue plus button over here on the right. We'll again wait for a little bit, and let's go ahead and fill out the fields required for Josiah. So the screen name is going to be a simple one. It'll be Josiah.Copland. All right, and then we need an email address as well. So josiah.copland@livingston.com. All right, we need his first name. Okay, Josiah. And we also need his last name as well. So let's go ahead and fill out his last name too. So Copland. Okay, so once you have the essentials filled out, we can add a little bit more here. So we can also fill out his birthday. So he was born over in April, and the year he was born was, let's see, 1983. Had to look it up here real quick. It might take a little bit to scroll through, so let's just type it out. So April 17th, 1983. Again, for those who are in different regions of the world, you can fill it out the way that we do over here in the US. So it might be a little bit different. And then we have to fill out his job title as well. So we said his job title is the platform administrator. Right, but again, feel free to have fun with this, right? If you want him to be something else, if you want his birthday to be something else, feel free to change that up too. From there, let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit, and then we'll click Save. So creating Josiah Copland. Once the user has been created, we're going to reach our next step here and assign the role. We're going to click on Roles over here on towards the left-hand side. This one inside of the form. I'm aware there is the one on the very far left, but we want this one here more so within the gray area within the form. And then from here, let's go ahead and click the Select button. The Select button will open up a new window or new perspective here, and we're going to be selecting the administrator. So let's go ahead and click on the Choose button that lines up with administrator. And then let's scroll down and then click Save one more time. All right, so our request has completed successfully, indicated by the message down there at the bottom left. Now, last thing we need to do is we actually need to set the password. In Liferay, by default, what ends up happening is whenever we create a user using this methodology, an email is sent out to the email that we provided saying, hey, this is your account, this is your password. And unfortunately, in this situation, we have no email server. So no email is sent, we have no idea what the password is. So we're going to change up the password here. So we're going to click on the password section right there. And once we click on that password section, you're going to notice that the password reset required is checked and grayed out. So as much as I click right now, nothing happens. So I'm going to set the password to something really easy. And then when we sign in again, we're going to change it to something else. So the password is going to be password. And then I'm going to type password one more time. And then from here, let's go ahead and save. All right, last step here is we're going to sign out. So to sign out, we're going to click on the user administration section, that middle section in the menu, and then we're going to click sign out. All right, once we sign out, go ahead and click sign in. So I'll click sign in right there. And then we're going to sign in as Josiah Coplin at livingston.com. And then the password that I set is password, all lowercase. We sign in, right? So if you've already read the terms of use once, you can ignore it. It's going to be the same. But if you haven't read the terms of use, make sure you read it. Again, we need to know what we're signing up for. If you don't read it, that's okay too. I won't tell anybody. All right, so we'll scroll through. We'll pass through my favorite section, section 8, and then we'll scroll down and click I agree. I know nobody really reads the terms of use. All right, so we need to set the second password here. So this password is going to be test. Again, test is my favorite password. It is very easy to remember, and you can type it with one hand. Hit save, since we already typed the password. Right, we have a password reminder here. I've always liked to write my own password questions, just in case, somebody knows things like my father's middle name or my first phone number. Right, so I'm going to write my own question. Feel free to write your own if you want. My second favorite question is, what is your quest? Right, and my quest is to seek the Holy Grail. All right. So this is my second favorite password question. So don't go stealing my other passwords as well. So from here, let's go ahead and click save. And then we have signed in successfully with Josiah. Now we know we're the admin because we see these buttons up here at the top right. If we open up the product menu, we'll also see all of our various panels as well. So we have created our user successfully, and we have assigned him as the admin role. So very good. A lot of exercises here. Feel free to create the rest of our cast as well. You can create Omar or Natalia or Martine. Right? Feel free to have a little bit of fun with it. Get some practice in creating users. Maybe you can even create yourself or your cat or your dog or your hamster, whoever you want to create. All right, let's keep on going here. So we've inputted the info, all good there. We've signed in with Josiah, did that. And we added the role, so we've done that. So get a little bit of practice here, right? Have fun, right? This is what we're here to do. So back over in your student guide, go ahead and fill in the blanks on the next checkpoint here. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do so. And also review the contents of your student manual as well. Get those concepts down because these are the fundamentals. We do build upon them in our other courses as well. So again, go ahead and fill that out, and we'll be taking a look at that once you come back. So let's take a look at the different blanks here. So creating a platform that allows users to log in and access different content is easy with Liferay. So Liferay users have defined permissions based on roles. So permissions determine what you can do. The way that we assign permissions is through roles. Right? We can create users within the control panel and manage them not only in the control panel, but also within the individual user's user panel. Right? We can create a hierarchical structure to arrange our users using an organization, and users can also be grouped together using user groups. So that's our review here. And let's go ahead and take a look at our next section. So again, in the various exercises that we have gone through, feel free to have a little bit of fun there. Right? If you want a recap of anything, you can go ahead and rewind and rewatch, as well as look through your instructor manual, or your student manual. I have the instructor manual, but your student manual as well. So I'll see you in the next section.